Hello, hello, good evening, boys and girls. I'm back streaming this evening. Today is holiday in Italy. I think it's holiday in most of Europe, not just Italy. So let me know if it's holiday also in your country. And Europe had also daylight saving, so we may be 1 hour off compared to North America and other parts of East Europe and for sure Asia and the rest. So for some of you may not be the usual time, but for me it is. It's 9 p.m. After dinner. So what we're gonna do today is to work on guilds. We have guilds implemented in the game already. If you take the current game, the previous game, the one made with the old engine, so we have it up and running. And yeah, what we need to do, we need to convert the guild manager. Guild manager is one of the classes that is holding our logic and say our game logic for the guilds. So it's able to create new guilds, disband a guild, add members, have security rules, and all of that. I think we need to create a mission for it. So let me see if I can find any good screenshots that represents a guild. I have no idea, but I was just checking here if by any chance we had some screenshot with a lot of people. Probably not. Let me see if in the internet we are lucky and plan shift RPG and see if we have some images of a bunch of people. Not too much. Our game is not indexed in Google. This one seems to be a good one. Okay, so we will use this. We will use this as it's a bit small, but it's okay. I mean, we need it anyway. We don't need it, you know, too big. So it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So we will use this image here as the image for our guild mission. Now we have to create this mission and understand all the steps that are needed to complete it, and then as usual I think I will add more steps as I go because I always find new things to do. But let me also open up the chat so I'm sure that I can see what are you saying, because at the moment I'm not. At the moment I'm not seeing it, boys. So if you said something in the last 5 minutes, say it again, because I didn't actually read it at all. Okay, I'm now connected to the chat. So yeah, I think what we need to do, we need first of all to port guildmanager.cpp. This will be a major task and is what we are going to start today. I don't know if we will finish it, but I already started actually, and I already started today. I already did some work, and we need to have this guy at least compile. Okay. So make guild manager compile properly. So let's say that our first task is to have it compile, which doesn't mean that it works, but at least it compiles, meaning that we will have to change all the syntax of the old engine to the new engine, all the system error, all the F strings, all the basic types, all the events. I mean, there is a lot. The file is pretty big actually. I started already, but so the .h is about, it's not too big, it's 260 lines, okay. So this one is 260 lines, so easy, but the CPP is actually pretty big, is 3,000 lines, no, it's 270, yeah, 2,800 lines roughly. So this one definitely is something to port, not be easy. We will have to touch basically every single line. I mean, not really all, but the majority. So we will have to change the majority of those. Now, when we have, you say have in English or make, have, guild manager compiled properly, maybe you say have. Okay, so this will be the task number 1. Then the task number 2, I think, will be to study the flow of information between client and server. Maybe this we should do it before, right? Yeah, I think we should do this before, because actually I think we will have 2 passes, you know. Let's do 2 passes so we can have some green marks. Let's say that we can convert the base types and messages in guildmanager.cpp, right? Which is what I was doing now. So doesn't make it compile, but at least, you know, we do a first pass, right? First pass to convert the base types and the messages in guildmanager.cpp. Okay. Then I think we should do this. We should study how the flow of information is between client and server. Why? Because there are a number of messages, like for example the GUI messages and the command messages. I also saw that there is, for some reason, there is a command handler, a guild command handler. So we have to check guild command handler. I don't know exactly what is the name, but it's something like this, to understand if we still need it or not, because it's similar to what we have here. What we have here for we show you. If we go under server, I think was not here. Was not here. Huh? Like the user commands, I remember there was okay, I cannot find it now, but I think there were specific classes dedicated to, maybe it was inside admin manager. Okay, there were specific classes dedicated to commands that you issue in the chat, like /guild create or /guild disband or something like that. So I think there is also that we have to check. Then we will make it compile. Then we will have for sure to create the UI for guild management. This will be a UI in Unreal Engine done, yes, client side, and this will manage all the different capabilities, like setting security rules, setting the message of the day, say showing the members list, showing the permission of each member. I mean, all those functionality, they will have to be created for that. And then I think our first task will be to have allow the creation of a new guild, the addition of a member, okay, and display the membership. Okay, so this I think will be another task, and then I would say the rest, I don't know, the rest is just to port every single piece, you know. So finish the porting of all functionalities in guildmanager.cpp. Okay, so I don't know, this one maybe we will extend it later. We will extend it a bit later. Can I have a different no, I cannot, I guess. It's impossible. It's too stupid as a program to actually allow me to have more space between these lines. Okay, so this is pretty much what we want to do at the beginning, right? Yeah, now I'm going to separate them a bit because just I like it more. This is what we're going to do at the beginning, okay? And Is it easy? No, it's not very easy, because there are, I think, a lot of internal functions, a lot of messages. There is a lot of stuff we need to do to actually have it work properly. So it will take definitely multiple sessions, right? It will take multiple sessions, but it's okay. So let's start for the first one. First pass to convert the base types and messages in Guild Manager. Okay, so here is our class Guild Manager. You see the nice number of errors on the right, like 3 million errors. How many there are? 108, but this is not really. It is not really the full number. Alliance invite. Identifier not found. Interesting. Why? I think we have some of this which have not been converted yet. No, I see it. Alliance invite. Why you don't like it? No idea. Okay, we don't care too much about that at the moment. So what I want to do like a first pass of so fixes. You see that at the top I already did quite a bit. In fact, all of this is compiling already, or anyways is free of errors. Now I want to do more. There is the one that is handling the commands coming from the client, and you see there are different commands like new guild, end guild, guild name, group guild invite, guild remove. So all this are then calling sub-functions here, on which we just pass in our guild structure, which I already created this afternoon. So this is okay. So I already did some good changes. This guild message is one of the one that we have to really understand, because this is coming from the client. Yeah, this is coming from the client. What do we do with this error 2? Even if this one I think will not be relevant anymore, because you see here we are creating kind of an XML, create document, parse command data. So yeah, so there is some XML that is sent to us from the client that we have to parse, and then it's taking our message command. This one I think we have to put it into the signature of our method here. What are these things? Subscribe guild data. Okay, so this is just a way to select. This is just an enumeration created to select the type of command that you are gonna send. So handle subscribe guild data, unsubscribe guild data, handle set online, handle set guild notification. So these are all functions that are triggered by this message that is coming in. Set member points, set level rate, set max member points. I don't understand too much why this is different than the one that we have seen before, right? But probably they are doing different things. So one is like this one are the commands that I can issue on the command line, I mean in the chat, and are for the creation of the guild, listing the members and such. This is different stuff. Set member points, set max guild points. I don't even know what this thing is doing, by the way. Handle set max member points. What is this? handles the messages from the client asking for a change in the max member points. Okay. I mean, but why these ones are not like commands like all the others that we have seen before? I mean, why do we have commands above and here there are just different thingies? Because this is reading an XML. I think I need to launch the old client and just familiarize again myself with the UI of the guilds, because for some reason I'm losing. I don't understand what is that set max point. Let me just launch it and we will try to see some of that functionality to what it corresponds, because I don't get it too much. Like set member nodes. Okay, set member nodes is getting a character ID and the nodes. Okay, and then he's finding the member. Okay, he's trying to see if he's leader or not. He's checking his client rights. Okay, if he can do this. Get client level. You don't have the right to edit public nodes for this member. Okay. Allows to add private nodes to others and to edit them for the member target of the nodes. Else we will get indefinite the filling entry which the client when read. If client right and have the rights, get. So what is this thing doing actually? Member private nodes. Append not to the end nodes. Member private nodes. Guild set member node. Send notification. Member data. So this send member node is can be public or private. Update is updating actually this thing into the character table. Really? It is not something I did, so I have no idea what is this functionality. But it seems that there are... there it is. Guild public nodes and guild private nodes. Okay. Okay. This is the old client, okay? So don't get confused. Hello, Tua. Yes, we are trying to put guilds in. For now, only from the perspective of the UI. I hope I'm in a guild. Yes, I'm in a guild. I'm in the Game Master Guild. Okay, so here are the settings for my guild. Here are the members of this guild, which is basically only me. I know it's online only. Okay, these are all the people that are part of the guild. And then if you click on one, you have these public nodes and private nodes. Okay, public nodes and private nodes. Okay, and this is what is getting displayed. So if I type something here, some nodes on this guy, some nodes on Durgram, and I say OK. Now, what is this showing? It's showing only in this thing. Okay. Make have some private. So you can like keep track of, I don't know, you know. You can keep track. Do we have anyone with any nodes? No. I think we never use this functionality. And we have it, but we never used it. So I think that the difference compared to the straight commands is that this one needs to have, I mean, there is really a UI associated to the command, so you cannot really issue the command like slash, you know, public node something, I mean, or slash private node something, so it is why they are done in a different way. But logically is exactly the same, right? I think that logically is exactly the same. So still a message that goes from the client to the server with some information that we have to store, right? So yeah, so it's just another message. For us, it's just another message. I don't think we care. So how many messages we have in this thing? We have so this one, for example, right? This one, if I search this one, is all coming from this PS GUI guild message. The problem is that each one is a different set of parameters. So what we could do, we could completely scratch, you know, this function. We could completely scratch this function, so not having this function anymore, but have these functions here called directly from the client with the right parameters. So we completely remove the parsing of the XML, the creation of the XML, which is a total, I mean, it's super stupid these days. We don't need it anymore, right? We don't need it anymore. So I think we can do that. I think it is a good decision. So we remove this and we then convert each of this into, now let me see if this function is doing something else. So first of all, let me see, when is this function getting called? Yeah, okay, so this one is one of the basic subscriber methods, similar to handle command message. The difference is that handle command message we want to keep, because we still want to be able to call the specific function this way, so from the command line, and then from the command line going into the specific method, while for the UI we don't want this. From the UI we don't want to have this additional message in between, right? So let me see what this thing is doing. So it's managing this set of thingies and nothing else. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty good for me. Now there is a third one, which is handle mod set, which is this one, and this handle mod set is setting the message of the day. So this one we can simply, you know, change it with one parameter, which is a string, and I think will be enough. Yeah. Okay, so we have these three things to do: the commands, the message of the day, and the specific functions, which are all these specific functions here. So we don't need this. I would not use it. We don't need we don't need this. We don't need this PS GUI guild message. I think this one will disappear completely. And we just call the functions directly. But this means that I need to put in my player character, this is a bit annoying though, because I have to put in my player character like this 10 or so functions which are called client to server. I mean, anyway, there is no other way, because RPC happens in replicated actors. I mean, I cannot have RPC happening just by itself, right? And even if this one is a kind of an administrative function, it still goes through my character because it's my character asking for it. So I think it makes sense to go through player controller. Also, all of this is not multicast because it's sent only to one person, to my understanding. So there is no need to have it on PS character. We can keep it in player controller, right? Yes, okay, makes sense. So just reasoning on it. But so what we should do, we should remove this and just check which kind of data is getting handled by. So this one I think I can remove. I think I can, without any hesitation, just delete it. Okay, and we delete it also from the .h handle GUI message, this one. So this one will disappear. Now all the methods which were called by that, which have PS GUI message as a parameter. For example, there was this set level right, set remove member, set blah blah blah, all these things, right? All of those. The problem is that, are these all or there is more? So how many are this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly 10, okay. But here, excluding the first two, which are a bit different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11. There is some of this which is not. Subscribe guild data, unsubscribe guild data. Okay, these two I have. Then there is set online I have, set guild notification I have, set alliance notification, set level right. Then there is a remove member. Okay, remove member is should not be here. This one, handle remove member, I will move it because it's not in this set. Set member level, also set member level is not. Set level right. Set member points. There are two of those which are let's say not in this sequence. Set level rights, set member points, set max member points, set member nodes. Okay, and set member nodes actually has two. Yeah, because it can be called one way or the other way with this parameter. Okay, it's fine. So all of those are belonging to this, while the two that I cut off, I will place them at the beginning. This one, like handle remove member, I think is still coming from Oh wow, doesn't exist. How is possible? How is possible it is not implemented? I'm searching in the old code just to see. Oh wow, it's not here anywhere. I'm searching the entire solution, and he's saying it doesn't exist. So this one is not used at all. It's not called by anyone. I mean, why we have it then? Oh, there. So these two, handle remove member and handle set member level, seems that they are not implemented, and they are not used in any way, in any shape or form. So I think I will add this, but probably those just needs to be removed. Seems not used anywhere in the code. Maybe because maybe they were moved to being commands. Could be. Maybe they were UI functions first, and then they got converted into commands. Because removing a member definitely should be possible, right? But it's probably done. Guild remove, where it is. I think is this. So probably these ones have been converted into commands, and also set member level. There is the set member permission. Okay, we will see. Anyway, for now those two are not used, so I think we should just leave it as it is. So all these methods we said we can remove, so let's remove it for real now that we double checked that we have all the functionality in. And now these ones, which are the handle, subscribe, guild data, all this shit, so here we need to change it so that we have as a parameter the one that we need inside the function. Okay, there is a slash guild level. Okay, right, guild level, yeah, set the member level. So yeah, I think that they've been converted for some reason at a certain point, and so these two have been then removed. I mean, I can actually remove them. I think there's no need. Now, what do we do with all of this? What do we do with all of this? I think we just need to figure out what are the parameters that we need to execute these functions. And so in particular, okay, we have our client, which is the guy that submitted the command. Here we are sending back a message to our UI saying that you are not in a guild. What is this subscription thingy? Anyone knows what is this subscription? I don't know who is calling this subscription thingy. Handle, subscribe, guild, data. Subscribe guild data. If you issue a command which is called /guild-info, if you do this /guild-info, it's generating this message. I think you are asking to receive if I do /guild-info is opening this. If I do /guild-info on, it says syntax yes or no. Okay. /guild-info yes. What the fuck? I don't understand what is it. I don't understand what is it. But it seems that you are like subscribing to events that are happening into the guild. So maybe you get notified when one of your guilds gets online. Could be. Could be. Because we are sending this online only set state format. Online only set online. Set online. Yeah, I think you get notified when someone goes online, right? Okay, that's what I was thinking. But from the code, I cannot really understand how this works. But okay, but makes sense to me. Hello Simone, welcome. How are you? Come stai? Yeah, so I'm just thinking, and I'm thinking how what is the best way to convert these messages, right? Because basically I would like to have, instead of this iDocument node, instead of this, I would like to have just the parameters needed. Unfortunately, we start from this one, which is the one that is more obscure to me, but let's say handle subscribe guild data. what this thing is doing is it's not very clear, is searching your guild, right? So this one is check if you are in a guild. So this is checking if you are in a guild. Let me just add this also to the old code so that at least we improve a bit our documentation, because sometimes it's so hard to understand the freaking code. Okay, so here is check if you are in a guild. That is what it's doing. Then check if you are already subscribed, and that is interesting. It's calling something, it's calling another function, getting the subscription. If you're already subscribed, it basically does nothing. Okay. Then if these two checks are passed, what it's doing is passing this XML that we received from the client, and it's passing it to this function only. So we need to understand what is this function doing. This function is searching for R. I don't know why R, but anyway, searching for R and understanding if there is a top node, and then it's getting this online only. Okay, so if you have the online only flagged, okay, so for us this function doesn't require, I mean, we can delete this function basically, and we can pass, because you see on the client side it is getting created exactly the same way. So it's create now I don't know if I find it, but it's like you see it was creating this line format R online only blah 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 words they want. So based on the parameter that I put in the command as a second parameter, you put it in this online, and then it's passing it down. So I mean, to us, it's just easier to just pass in the parameter, you know, and the parameter in the function. I think it's just easier, and that's it. I think that's it. The only question is why this one is not managed like all the other commands. Why this one, which is the guild info, is not managed like all the other commands that we have here. What is the difference? What is the difference? Why we don't have guild info here? I don't understand it. Probably because it was created by someone else, and so that someone else didn't want to change the basic structure, and so he just added another event on top. Could be. So he didn't know, you know, he didn't want to touch the other function. But all in all, I mean, this one we really don't need. This retrieve online only we really don't need. This is just the parameter. So we can have a Boolean parameter, which is called online only. So this function, I think it can go. I think this one should be removed, and yeah, so this one we can remove. Parse the XML to check if the client wants only a list of online member. This is a good description, though. I would like to keep it. I would like to keep it. So we can let me copy this. So in the function which is subscribe guild data, exactly here. What we will do, we will add this information. So we will yeah, let me do something like that and add some documentation, and we can say online only. What is true if the client wants only a list of online members. Okay, so here, instead of this document root, we can just say boolean, and then we can have a variable which is called online only. And this one we will parse it. I think we can just parse it on the client side and pass it to this function. I think it's probably the easiest we can do without you know, any special any other special things. So subscribe guild data, so we can go like this. Now the client num we don't need anymore, so this one I think it can be scratched. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is okay. We will have to see on that one. Now here this one becomes just this because we scratched this function, so it's not needed anymore. So we just put our online only, and our guild notify subscription, I think it will take our client, so an APS character as a parameter. Let me just see where this is defined. This one, it should be an APS character pointer client, and this one will be client. We can still keep it client num, but this one should become, okay, should become this, and client ID, and online only, should we send member and online only. Okay, so it is exactly a boolean, so it's the one that we are passing through the function. Okay, so this I think is okay. This I think is okay. Then what we do, we push this subscription into this vector, into this not vector, into this array. Okay, fine. Then we send the guild data, we send the level data, we send the member data, we send the alliance data. Really? We do all this shit? Okay. Okay, so these are all the functions. I think they are sending the data into the UI, into the guild info UI. So in fact, when you type /guild info, you arrive here, and you also display the guild information. Now unsubscribe guild data, I think it works already like this, so there is no need of changing anything. I think this should be in the UI though. So how many people know that this exists, this guild info? I mean, why you cannot just flag it somewhere? Can you flag it somewhere here in the UI? No. Ah, here it is. Notify when member log in and log out. There it is. Which I guess it goes together with the online only, which is above. There are two people speaking here just next to me. Just two guys. I'm just interacting into the game. Okay, so what I wanted to say. Okay, these ones are okay now. So these ones are fine. So we can leave them as they are. Now we need to change all the others. So like for example, set guild notifications. Right? This one, what does it need? Retrieve guild notifications. Let me see what this thing is doing. So it's searching again a top node R and is just searching for a yes. Yes, it's Doorbane speaking in game. Guild notifications is different than this one. Retrieve guild notifications. What is this? What is this? Retrieve guild notifications. Okay, I think it's here. Send member data. Send member data. He's creating an XML of members, and for each member he's checking if he's online or not, when he was last online. He's checking, then he's getting in name, level, online sector, last online points, which I guess is this first page, right? So is the name, level, online, sector, last online, and points. Yes, it's this first line. So he's retrieving this information, basically. Let me see the member with the oldest login. Well, 2014, not even too much. Okay, anyway. So this seems to create the XML with the information of the members in the list. Yes, okay, that's fine. So the question is, this function handle set guild notifications. Retrieve guild notifications. Sorry, I'm a bit confused now, because guild notifications is not into this list. But it's down here. It's down here. Player info, char ID, guild notifications, alliance notifications. He's getting guild notification, he's getting alliance guild notification. So basically he's saying if notify when members logins log out, notify when alliance member login log out. Okay, we have these two things, one for the members, one for the alliances. Okay. Hello Sand. How are you? Who's this guy? So retrieve guild notifications. I don't understand too much. What is this? I don't understand exactly what he's doing. He's retrieving a guild notification from a file that is getting sent in. He's getting this node specific, which is guild notification, but it's searching it with an R. Actually in this case we are not creating it with an R, we are creating with a player info. So it is a bit weird to me. Let me see if there is another one maybe. Ah, there is another one. No, there is the one that I'm here it is. Check guild notify. Okay. So this one is used by the UI. When the UI pops up, to know if he has to check or not check. Yeah, R maybe stands for root. Yeah, it could be. Check or not check if the guild notification are on or off. Now I don't understand exactly if this is for on button released. On button released. Yes, it's basically changing. Okay, it's basically changing that value. So it's when we click. So when we click here, notify block, or when we select it or deselect it, is actually calling this function. What is going on? It's actually calling this function and on button released, you see. And if we are in the case of the check guild notify, is creating this message. This message is sent the guild UI message is received server side by this thing. Is received the server side by this thing, and is then setting the okay. So for us, 10 times easier than this shit because it's too complex. Really, we can just pass in again a boolean, which is called receive guild notifications. Okay. And if it's true, it's true. If it's false, it's false. The only point is if this is online only or not. No, but I don't think it makes a difference. Okay. Okay, good. So we can remove this function basically. It's this retrieve guild notification, which was reading the XML. We can remove it. We don't need it anymore. Right? Go. Retrieve guild notification. So this one we can. So we are simplifying a bit the code. Boom, boom. Now, in this function, which is set guild not handle set guild notification, handle set guild notification, handle set guild notifications. Okay, I will change then the signature, and it will be like this. Right? So it's just a true or false. It's just a true or false if it wants to receive the notification or not. Okay? As simple as that. And now here we just pass in this, so we don't need the XML anymore. Nice. We should do the same for all the others, so it will take a bit, but it's what we have to do. So retrieve alliance notification is exactly the same. So, but now maybe we go a bit quicker, knowing what we are doing. Which is here. So this one also we remove. Retrieve alliance notification we also remove. and then we put in our function another boolean, which in this case will be called receive alliance notifications. Okay. Now, your English is not bad. I mean, Italians have never been great in English, huh? So, here we can remove this. So we can remove this, we can pass in this one, which will be our boolean thingy, and then we also change it in our what is it, handle set alliance notification, handle set alliance notification. Okay, we set it here like this. Nice. So we did 2 of those. You studied Russian for a couple of years and French in a billion years ago, huh? But could never get past the first year. I can speak French somehow. I mean, not good, but I can speak French. Russian, no way. I can say da if you want. That's the only thing I can do. I can say privet. I can say a few things in Russian, but very, very little. Would you mind if I eat an ice cream meanwhile? I bought a very historical ice cream, one that I was eating when I was a kid, which is actually this one. Let me search it. This one, which basically has, I don't know if it exists in your country, but is oh, they also have a Facebook page. But basically it's a kind of a lemon stick with the handle, which is made of a kind of a candy, you know. So basically you can eat it all. So you can eat the ice cream, and then you can also eat the handle, because the handle is actually edible. And I remember that I was eating this when I mean really long time ago, when I was a kid. Made your fingers sticky? Now this one is, I don't know, maybe they improved it, but my fingers on the handle don't stick, at least at the moment. I don't feel it sticking, so seems okay. Not bad. It's just a lemon stick, but there is also a tutorial for doing it. A tutorial on YouTube on how to do it. Okay. Yes, I think if you are eating it in the summer and outside, the lemon will start to drip, inizia a colare sullo stecchino. So I said in Italian that it starts to drip on the handle. And so yes, then I think it becomes very sticky and it becomes a mess. But if you eat it in like in winter, like now, which is not usual, but anyway, and you eat it kind of quick, it should not happen. Okay, now I have only one end to program, but it's okay. So handle set online. Yes, this one is the function that is called when we click on this button here, online only. When you click on this, we call this function. So also in this case, we need only a boolean, and we can call it again online only. And I think we don't need any of that. So I can just substitute it to this. And we can remove the retrieve online only. Remove the retrieve. I removed it already. Yes, I removed it already. Okay. So this set handle online. I think I go at the same speed with one hand only. Interesting. So we just put this parameter here. Right. And this one is good as well. Okay. Next we have set level right. Set level right. Handle set level right. Which is this one. It's searching for an L. And it's searching for level, privilege, and state. Level, privilege, and state. Okay, on off. The state is on off. The level is this one on the one you see on the left, like initiate moderator, and the privilege is the one at the top. So, okay. Yeah, because this one is done, there is no save button, you see, so there is no save. So whenever you are clicking, you are actually updating the information server side immediately. a bit like the iPhone works, you know, and a new application works. So you don't have anymore a save, but you have whatever you touch is automatically recorded. This is good and bad, but anyway. So you cannot roll back in any way, but I don't know why it's not called set permission. Would have been a bit more intuitive, but it's called set level right. But I think it's that one. I think we can add some documentation like sets the permission, set the permission of specific level, privy and privilege. Example, I don't know, initiate view chat, yes. Okay, so these are the 3 parameters that we need. Let me copy this to the old code because I want to put it there as well. Okay. Sorry about the noise of eating the ice cream, but I hope it's not annoying. It doesn't let you want, maybe it lets you want an ice cream as well. Okay, so on this one, simply we will have 3 values instead of the XML, because we don't want to use the XML anymore for any reason. The level can be a number. The privilege should be an F string. And then the state is also an F string. Why? The state should be a boolean, on or off. Why the state is a string? I don't understand why state is a string. Yeah, it should be a boolean. Now here is typing it as a string, but we don't care. I'll just put it as a boolean. Okay. On or off. Okay. So this one is our new signature. And we don't need any of this anymore. All this is okay. We don't need this anymore because we have it passed in by the function. No, yeah. The reason is that we were passing in everything as an XML. So it was a big string in an XML sent from client to server and then interpreted on the server side based on the needs. And so everything was actually coming from a string, which is very flexible because you can change the XML when you want, add new parameters, but maybe not very performant, right? Even if we were compressing the strings while moving to on the network, so maybe it was, because I think we were zipping the strings and sending it over. So I think in reality it was performant. But for us now in a real engine doesn't make sense anymore because we can just pass in, we can just call functions directly with these things as parameters without having to care of what it goes through the network, because the network is managed by Unreal, and so it's much easier for us. I don't know if it's better or quicker, I have no idea, but probably it's not quicker, but it's easier. Okay. Okay. Now here at the bottom, what is this? I have no idea what is this. Send notifications, guild get ID. What is this? I sending back the thing to the client. I searching for the subscribers. I don't get it too much. So it seems that when you are changing one value in the UI, you are broadcasting it to everyone? What the fuck? So like if I click on one of these things, oh yes. Privilege edit points for level advance was turned off. Privilege edit points for level advance was turned on. Okay. I mean, what's the point of this? Why we are broadcasting this to freaking everyone? No idea. But we are doing it. Okay, well, okay, so we are broadcasting this message to everyone, so everyone knows that a setting has been changed. The point is that if you are not online anyway, you will not see it, you know. So what is the point of sending it? I don't know. I think it's a bit unnecessary to send it over the chat, you know. I mean, you can see it in the UI anyway, so you can just open up, you know, the guild UI and look at it, and you see that it changed. And if you are not online, you will not see the message. So seems a bit useless. Message of the day. Okay. To me, it seems a bit useless to do this thing, but fine. So at the end of this, is actually sending the level data. So send notification. So it's entering to this thing, is searching the subscribers. This message is level data. Yes. And based on the message, is sending the level data to who? Well, actually, okay, I understand what it's doing. No, it's sending it to the other members so that they have the updated view here. Okay, so that they have the updated view. Otherwise, they will see something old. Okay, that I understand. That I understand. But then is not. It's not that message. So the message on the chat is this one. Privilege blah 4 level blah was turned on. And it is sent actually only to me. Okay. So the actual message in the chat is sent only to me. But this one updates all the other guild members on the change that I made, meaning that the UI is updated. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. But not only the ones subscribed, right? It should be everyone. Yes, notification, subscription. I'm a bit confused about this line, which is trying to send a message just with the client number, the entity ID, and the name of the guild. And then this one, which is actually sending out the full stack of information. So what is this? for each subscriber. I think we need to understand what is this PS update player guild message. Is not really described in the documentation, unfortunately, but let me see if maybe in the old code. Update the player's label. How the hell is the player's label really? I mean, this is if you are adding a new player to the guild, but it doesn't seem like, I don't know, I'm a bit confused. I'm a bit confused by this piece of code here. I have no idea what the hell is doing. This first part. The second part I understand. So from here down I understand. It's just sending again the updated information to all the clients if I change something in the guild. But this first piece here, these 3 lines I don't understand. So it's creating this new message just with the client, the ID and the name, nothing else. So it only has a guild name and a player. And then it's sending a broadcast message of this thing to the clients. No idea. Let me search what is happening on the client for this thing, because it's really obscure to me what the hell is going on. Update guild labels. Players join the guild. Turn label off for everybody. I mean, this update player guild message is doing everything from updating labels to adding people to removing people. Update the player label. Add the player. Is also adding players. Yes, under the character name there is the name of the guild. So like in my name, well, I cannot see my name. But if you take anyone, like this guy, Sola, is the guild is ad libertatem. So yes, he has below him the name of the guild. Below the name of the guild. Yes. The point is, if this update message is only for the labels, because it seems that it's connected to the labels, but seems to be an update related to when a label changes. I'm trying to search it on the client side and see, because there is no documentation on this one, unfortunately, so it's very hard to understand what is going on. Update guild labels. Yes, I think he's updating the name of the character on top with the lady. Yeah, I think that's what it is. The more I see the code, and more it seems to be. It seems to be that. Yes, when a player is being removed, then you have to tell everyone, every client, that. Yeah, in fact, you see here we are on the client side. There is a handle guild change, and handle guild change is taking this message as an input and change every entity. Message object ID size, get size, client actor, blah, find object, apply the new name. Yes, and then he's setting the guild name on the actor. So because if you disband a guild, and there are like 10 people in the guild. When you disband it, you have to change the name, you remove the guild name from all the 10 people. And you have to do it for everyone. Everyone should see this change. Okay. So I think there's PS player update. Okay, that's it. So it's updating the label. Okay, can we just put it in documentation somewhere, because it's so annoying that it's not documented and I don't know. So here we are in messages.h. So this message is used. So let me just add some documentation here. So I would say used to send the information to the clients that a player or multiple players have changed their guild. The client will then update the second line of text on top of the player's head, which is actually the guild. No, second line of text containing the guild on top of the player's head. Okay, so above the player's head, above. Okay. Okay, fine. So this thing is doing that. Interesting. So if that thing is doing that, I don't know why we are, doing it all the time. So it seems that in this send notification, the code is anyway cycling on all the subscribers. And then it's sending this update anyway. So we are sending this update even if we click on a change of permission, we receive this message, which is a bit stupid actually. It should not be like this, but so we send out this information all the time. A permission is updated even if you are not removed from the guild. But anyway, and then on top of that, we update the different panels, like the level, the data, the members, the alliances, all the other panels that we have in the UI. So that is what is happening. It is what is happening in this part of the code. Let me see what is delete in our new world. delete of an array is just called remove. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit of a brute force, yeah. So like whatever happens, I update all the labels and that's it. Okay. Whatever happens, I update the labels, and then after I updated the labels, I do say the specific stuff. So fine. So I will leave that like it is for a second because I want actually to continue what we were doing. By the way, we can change all this error 2 to something more meaningful, okay? Because the error 2 in our new world are EULog tags. Now there is the guild manager. Do we want to have a log for guilds? Do we want to have a log for guilds? Well, depends how many messages we have here. I don't think there are too many actually. I'm just checking like well, there are a few anyway. I think we can create a new log and call it log guilds, and we can change then all the errors to refer to that particular log. I think we can do it. Wow, there are so many send system error, boys, like millions. We will have to convert all of them. We're back at the top. So there are like 2 or 3 only. Overall there are like 2 or 3 only. Let me check. Error 2, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we are back, so 6. There are like 6. And error 3, there are none. Error 4, there are none. Error 5. So it's only 6 errors. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actually. There are 7 errors in this file which are managed as a server-side error logging. Do we want to create I don't think so. I think we can just use log temp for now. Let's use log temp. I don't want to create just for 6 messages, and some of these probably will even go away. Like this one will go away because our message will always be good. So this one has to be removed, by the way. Yes, this one is probably correct. Yeah, this one is probably a real error. So in this case, I think we convert it like this, and we say that okay, client name is like this. Yes, so this one we convert it like this. Known privilege, yep, why not? This one also we convert it. We can just use log temp for now, it's fine. We don't need anything more fancy. Member name, guild creation attempt by character blah 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 with no character data. These are just like borderline errors that probably will never happen, but unless someone is trying to send invalid data to the server by purpose, so like they are trying to confuse our server, or there are some database errors, but also this one should never happen. Okay, I changed them all. Okay, now maybe we should do one pass on the send system error, because there are still so many, boys, so many, and all of those have to be changed, because all of those are, yeah, all these ones are like the old way of sending errors, which we don't use anymore. So we have to change all of this. This one is empty. Yes. Is there an is valid? No, this is always valid, so it cannot be. So let's say if it's empty. Let's say only if it's empty, it should be fine. Should be removed. Okay, let's search the other ones. Send system error. There it is. This is one of the ones we have to change. I mean, all these ones we will have to change. All of them. If there are 1 million, 1 million. There are so many of those, unfortunately. So many. So here is another one, but this one is a bit more complex because he has parameters. So we need to pass in the parameters. This will be an F string, so I think we can put it on the same line actually. And this will be client. There is another one here. You can't invite yourself. Okay. Seemed like a good idea, but if I cannot, I will not. Okay. Then there is another one here. You cannot invite NPC name. Yeah, you cannot invite NPCs to a guild. Makes sense. I mean, you can try, but I don't know if they will join and be very active. So you cannot invite maybe NPC. Let's put it in uppercase because that's the main error. MVT is super client. I mean, is super client, we don't have it anymore. I think it should be, I think we have something that is like is NPC. Exactly. So if it's an NPC, we just return this error and we bail out. Okay. Then we have another message here, which is that player is already a member of a guild. So for this reason, he cannot join. Okay. there is a kind of an error, and this one also we converted error blah blah blah. Yeah, this is a bit of an annoying job, I know, but we have to do it. There is no way. We have to do this. Painting group invite. Okay. Inviter client num. 1 second, here there is a mess. Inviter client num, okay. I think this was the... Okay, so we need to use inviter client num receive system message, okay, right? Should be okay. No? Like this? Yes, WebAC likes it. Okay. So more errors, boys, to convert. So that is you are not in a guild. That is that player is not in a guild. So what I'm doing, that it looks a bit repetitive, I understand, but is to catch all the error messages that we are printing out in this new file that is Guild Manager and convert them to the new Unreal Engine methods. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. So the code that you see is still old, and I need to just convert that one line, like in this case, with the syntax that we use in Unreal Engine, because the old one obviously is not valid anymore, so it doesn't compile. It's a bit of an annoying task, but it's okay. I mean, it's not hard, it's just requires time, you know, just requires time, so it's not a problem. We can do it. The fact is that there are so many of this in this file, because there are so many commands, you know, to change settings of the guild, permission of the guild, members, whatever, and so every one of those settings has 3 or 4 maybe different messages that are sent out, like, yeah, all the ones that you see here, right? So you are not part, you are already part, and such. And there are also all these others, like yeah, like all these ones, like you must specify a name after the level to rename the guild. Level name contains invalid characters. Guild level name must be at least 3 characters. I mean, stuff like that, which are all the messages that you get today when you are trying to edit a guild. This thing is is empty. This one we will have to change because it's taking a const char pointer. This has to become an f string. Filter guild name. Filter guild name. So this becomes an F string. Okay, let's continue with our search of the send system error. Yeah, making this file compile is a long road. Definitely a long road. Because it's a very big file, it's 3,000 lines, and there are a lot of messages. Really a lot. This one is a double line. Yep. This one is a double line message. Hey, meanwhile, if you have any questions that you want to discuss about anything, or I mean, feel free to chat. See, you guys are very silent at the moment, but you can. Rename level. This one we need also to change. This one is actually in another file. This one is actually in another file, which is guildinfo.h. Okay. Rename level. I don't think it will be a long stream today, but I will probably stream again tomorrow. I think I can go on for about, I don't know, another half an hour or so. Okay, so let's go to search again, send system error. These are the ones we want to change. I can do a lot of this just offline, so I don't think you need to watch it, you know, but these are, I mean, the good part was the one where we were deciding about the messages and the stuff. I mean, this part is a bit repetitive. I can do it, you know, kind of anytime. Okay, so if this is empty, we are going to send out this message. Which is this. And here we have another one, exactly identical. I mean, we are not touching all the 3,000 lines, but I mean, very, very close. Huh? I think we are touching like maybe 1,000, 1 out of 3 of these lines we are changing. Yeah, there are still few errors above, but at the moment I'm just brutally, let's say, changing all those lines massively, you know, so like I'm doing all the ones that are identical and just changing them all one by one, and then we will go maybe for the other errors. For now I'm just changing all these ones exactly the same way. Here we have two, but both of them are requiring some arguments, so some parsing of the arguments, so I need to do it this way. Right? And the good news is that message player is already an f string, and the same here, so we don't need to have any conversion anymore. So we just use it as it is. The only changes here is client and client here as well. Okay, and all these messages are routed through the same function, which is receive system message, which is handled in our case in the blueprints. So here there is something pretty heavy happened because it's a database error. So in this line we are catching an error which is probably pretty I mean, it's like, yeah, is a game stopper, you know, is a showstopper, because here it means that we had some database error when trying to update a guild. Okay, so another one here. There are just so many of those, so many. This one is a double line, so we need to, actually it's identical to the one above. Yes, it's exactly identical, so I can just copy the same line. Okay, this one is one line. I think we should still go with client. Now, when we will have to localize this in another language, it will be interesting. I still don't know exactly how to do it. But potentially we need to localize this. All these messages will be good if they are localized. At the moment they are not, and in the old plan shift they were not, so all the messages that you were getting were in English. But in theory all of this could be localized in I don't know, all the most popular languages around, so we could do it. So at least the system messages you are getting it in your language, being Italian or French or German or whatever, Spanish. So those could be, yeah, generated. But there is something that we were not supporting in the old plan shift as well. You could just change the UI, but not the system messages, which yeah, which is a pity, but that's the way it is. Okay, message player should be, I don't know, this message player, I think it's complaining because I have a message here and then I'm redefining message in this line, you know, and probably is not a good idea. So it's complaining because it thinks that this one is actually so let's just call it message then. I mean, it's the same, so it doesn't overlap, you know, with the, it doesn't mess up with the one that we have here as an input parameter. So yeah, that's why I was giving that error, because it seems to him that it was a redefinition. think will be the same here, so we have to use message actually. Yeah. Otherwise, it ceases as a redefinition. Yeah, when I said that there are many, I was right, huh? There are many of these messages, which are pretty much all the same. I mean, there are 3 or 4 messages for each of the functionalities. So this becomes client, and this becomes like this. Yeah, we have the same problem of message, so just rename the variable and that's it. The same here. I'm not even reading the code, I'm just executing the substitution like mechanically, so I'm not really reading anything that I'm doing. I'm just mechanically copy pasting the pieces and putting them in the right spot, and that's it. That's it. Okay, I guess you got the point. I think I will continue this work. I will continue this work off stream, boys. So I will just finish this pass, and but I will do it maybe off stream, because anyway I don't think it's very needed for you to see this, you know. So it's I understand it may be a bit boring to say. And then I will stream again tomorrow. I think pretty much for sure I will stream again tomorrow, and I will move on with the other pieces of guild. So let's just check where we are in our yeah, at the moment we are still, you know, kind of in the first well, we did a bit of the first and a bit of the second actually. So we did a bit of this, so we are like, at the moment, you can say that we are kind of 50%, you know, like, oops, like 50%. Typing with the mouse is over, man. 50% of this first two, okay? So we are about 50% of this first two. And probably like 30%, of this one, right? I think that's where we are. So we made some progress for sure. We made some progress, some good progress. But there is still quite a bit to do, so I will try to do maybe the remaining 50% of the first two off stream, and then we can check together the guild manager, we can create a UI together, so I think they will be also nice to see. And and then doing the rest. Okay. Oh, by the way, we didn't save this, so we need to save it. We need to save it. So this will be Unreal Mission Guilds. Nice. Okay, boys. With that, I think I will close the stream for now. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. So I will finish the missing pieces off stream, at least the one for the pure code conversion, you know, so the monkey work, let's call it. I will finish it off stream because it's not a problem. I can just go through this one by one and do it. And tomorrow, I think tomorrow evening, tomorrow is what, Friday, right? Yeah, tomorrow I'm still in holidays because I took one day off, so tomorrow I'm in holidays. I think I can stream again in the evening with no problem, and maybe also a bit in the afternoon if I want, if I have if I want to do it, right? Okay, with that, thanks for watching, and let's hope to have guilds soon in game. See you, boys.